We haven't even completed the harvest of 2020, but already we're preparing the land for harvest in 2021. Today we're out in the field cultivating and getting the land prepared for the plant potatoes next spring. It's important we do this now because we're getting the land opened up and we're going to plant cover crop here, which will protect the soil over the winter. It'll capture the nutrients that are still in the soil from the previous crop rather than them leaching into the waterways and being lost. And the cover will also provide protection for the soil and stop the release of any extra carbon into the atmosphere that we don't need. And then when we cultivate the cover crop in the spring, which you'll see when it happens, that will release nutrients back into the soil. So it's a natural way of fertilizing the land and protecting it from losing nutrients to the atmosphere and to the waterways. So if I just show you what we're at, if I mark the leg of this cultivator here and lift it up, you'll get an idea of what we're doing. We're cultivating down in about 10 inches because we need enough land and enough soil to give us a good seed depth for planting the potatoes. So there you can see is our mark on the leg, and our points are going right in down to here. So we've got this gap from here to here where we're lifting and loosening the soil, and then after that we will use the cover crop and the tillage radish, etc., which will put deep roots down into the land, and they will open up fissures and cracks in the soil and naturally break it down. This means when it comes to springtime, we'll only require one run of one machine to make the land ready for planting the potatoes. That again will help our soil structure, help retain the biology of the soil and not damage and upset the worms. It also makes it easier that we're not damaging the soil and pulverizing it into dust, and therefore opening it up to erosion, or the wind can blow it away, the water can wash it away, and it means then going forward as well we'll have a nicer soil to work with for our potatoes. And then the following crop will also benefit from that as well, because we'll have a good soil structure maintained. It also gives us a wee bit more flexibility with the weather, because our soil will be in better condition, a better structure, a better health. The soil and the biology of the soil and the worms, they don't like you playing with the soil too much. And the more we move and cultivate the soil, the more we damage it. So the less we can do, the better. We have to use a bit of metal into the soil to loosen it up initially, because we need to be fit to go 10 inches deep to give us a nice bed for to plant the potatoes into, and then we let the roots do the rest of the work for us. So we let Mother Nature and the cover crops open up the land over the winter, suck all the nutrients out of the soil, hold them in their roots, and you get wee nodules coming on the roots of certain species, like a Phacelia and vetch that will be in among it, and that will hold the nitrogen. And then when we cultivate the cover crop in the spring, that nitrogen will be broken down, it'll release into the soil, and then it'll be taken up by the potato plant to feed it naturally. So it cuts down our reliance then as well on artificial fertilizers. We're doing it more naturally. It's more healthy for the people, it's more healthy for the crop, and all around better for the environment. So in our next video we'll show the cover crop being sown, and then hopefully after a couple of weeks you'll see it emerging and coming up, and we'll keep an eye on it over the winter. But this is the start of the preparation for our potatoes for next summer.